Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Once more, we're going to take another look here at Chainlink, see what's going on. This is a perfect example of fib extensions here, or just reverse fibs when you use more macro. In other words, we have our fibs drawn out from 22.73 all the way down as low as its candle wick to $8. And then when it comes back up here, we're looking at the price action continuing higher and potentially rejecting off that $27 mark, which it literally hit that level exact. So again, I can't make this up. This doesn't always work out that way, but generally speaking, that's why you always want to set take profit targets just below if you're taking along for, for example, or just above a fib level if you're coming down, So again, that's generally why I like to recommend that, because exact round numbers never truly work. But in this case, that was a good little extension there. Anyways, we're not here to show how awesome that little consideration was. We want to find out what's going to happen next with the Chainlink price action, and more importantly, too, where the new liquidation levels are at, if there's anything even worth mentioning. Because again, when prices move this fast, it takes a little while for liquidation levels to kind of start to accumulate. So just be mindful. That's kind of something we want to be aware of, I guess you could say, and that there may not be a ton of liquidation here locally, but I think the delta is something we want to look at. So let's go ahead and get started with that here first. Quickly to note, last 7 days, we can see the price action essentially working itself out to a lot of liquidation at the 22.50 mark. Excuse me. That's just below here. So that's basically from yesterday or earlier today's price action. We can see a lot of liquidation down as low as 22.50. So the price does pull back. It would make sense to see that level swept before it recovers. It's a really common occurrence because there's too much leverage at that point, right? Market makers can see that, and a lot of times they'll move the price action in that direction. The monthly doesn't tell us too much here, but I'm curious about the 12-hour and see if there's any local liquidation we can identify. And again, majority of that lower liquidation has been swept. There are some late longs at 22.50, as we mentioned, but more likely than not, based on local liquidation, we're probably due to see the price action go a little higher. 24.50 upwards of 25.25. Those are two areas of concentration for liquidation. To the upside, again, based on just local highs essentially getting swept. When we look at liquidation here too for the delta, while it is definitely high, this isn't too much. In other words, we usually want to see this for like 3 or 4 days straight. Then you want to consider shorting. At this point, it's just too high a risk to consider a short into this coin right now. It's too strong. There's absolutely no reason for it. Let's take a look at open interest too as well. I'm very curious about local areas where people are taking the most amount of positions. And if we kind of zoom in here, we can see some late longs, unfortunately, at about $25 to $26 as a round number. We can see a lot of folks are trying to get in at that late level. So most people that are long at 25 or higher are in the red right now. Obviously, that makes sense. And again, even though it's not recommended to short, taking a long at this level is risky too, right? Getting into a coin that's overextended like this, it can be very challenging to get some profits out of it. Either way you look at it here, we're probably going to be ranging between 21.50 and 27 just for the immediate foreseeable future until we establish some kind of baseline. Based on the daily time frame, everything's bullish. You can take my word for it. There's nothing here kind of letting us know we're going to pull back or continue much higher as far as the overall sense. The easiest way to understand it is it's fully bullish, right? So again, more propensity to go higher than lower, but it's still trying to establish itself. This is a significant uptrend, right, folks? Because again, when we talked about this yesterday, there's a previous resistance here turned into a support at about 21.50. We got to presume that'll hold if it's retested. However, there is a significant fair value gap as low as like $19. So we got to recognize that exists too, and we can't be too foolhardy just to take a long into it. While the support level should hold, this overall trend is looking good. We do want to be cautious and careful just kind of FOMOing into something like that. All that being said, 4-hour time frame, let's see what's going on. We're above all moving averages, fantastic. RSI is getting closer to 70. In fact, if we hit 70 here, this is generally construed as a take profit target on your long. So to those in my community who are in a long position with Chainlink, I would highly recommend you consider securing profits, because that's generally a sell signal for a long. It doesn't mean you just short though, because again, shorting into this is crazy. I know it seems weird to a lot of people too. Like, if I'm not in a long, I'm going to take a short, right? I'm just going to hit that reverse button, go right back down with it. That's really not how it's supposed to work out. 95% of trading is not trading. You don't just go the opposite direction because you took profit on the long. You don't just take a short instantly, okay? While I could be totally off base here and the price may continue lower, in fact, it probably will, it's inherently more risky to short in general. And on top of that, shorting into a trend like this makes zero sense. Okay, it's too high a risk. There's no logic behind it. I would not recommend it. Okay, all that being said, 4-hour time frame is still very bullish. Okay, hourly time frame reflects a very similar price action. We get the lagging span here soon to intersect with the price action, really letting us know that our window of opportunity is closing here for a short, and also closing for a long. Right? I know it seems kind of weird, but when this thing closes or intersects, it basically tells us the momentum has shifted and that we are no longer in just a continuation upwards. It's generally just construed as a conservative take profit target. Okay, so we got a couple of confirming factors on multiple time frames saying, hey, consider securing profits. Are there confirming factors here telling us you should take a long? Not really, but we are above the Ichimoku cloud. We have confirming factors on the 4-hour on the daily time frame that generally is construed as a positive for the price action to be more likely than not to go to the upside. Okay, so statistically, you're more probable to find success taking a long than a short. There's no other way around that. However, just know we're below our local point of control. A lot of people are heavy at $25. We're probably going to see some resistance there until we establish some type of bottom. My expectation for a bottom would be the local high at 2150, or potentially this higher level at 2350 as well. So we got a nice little support range here coming up. I'll put this on our playout chart here in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you can kind of see it. I'll post it over here. It looks a little something like this if you're not familiar. I just kind of give you insight on coins that I cover. You also make sure to check out Bitunix too. No KYC or VPN, folks. These guys are phenomenal. 12K deposit bonus this month. It's fantastic. Be sure to check that out. Link down below if you're curious about all that. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I do hope you have a great rest of your day either way, though. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.